Mike's was we probably got a larger serving of cannoli, and it might have been a little bit more tasty than last year's, but it was kind of in like a strip mall for restaurants, so it was kind of
the experience wasn't so
it wasn't great. It didn't feel like a Boston experience, but Mike's is kind of a Boston thing, so it's kind of, I don't know, I like the experience of the place we went last year, but I actually probably like the cannoli from Mike's better, so it's hard to complain when you're eating cannoli. So after that, we finally got home. We actually got home really late Saturday night as well. That was supposed to be our early night. I think we were running on like 6 hours of sleep each night. We've been pushing it pretty good. I'm wondering if I overdid it, but it's all good so far. And then Sunday morning, I woke up. We had to head out by about 9:30. I had church planned for us at Greater Boston Reformed Baptist Fellowship. They meet in Cambridge. So if you're in Boston,
Poe and Michael.
See Poe and Michael. Poe is he's kind of the leader of the church. It's a church plant from a church in Louisiana. He is not he's not an ordained pastor yet, so they have not established any type of church covenant together yet. So they're meeting as kind of independent believers that are kind of under this church out of Louisiana, but they are a confessional Baptist church. They're Reformed Baptist, meaning they are under the 1689 London Baptist Confession of Faith. That's kind of their governing confession. Amazing people. I think there were like 10 people there, and very diverse. There was a man named Andy from he's Haitian. I don't know if he's born. I don't think he was born there. Maybe he was, but he spent most of his time in America. He lived in Miami. Lived in Boston. Kanan was from India. Poe who is the leader of the church. He was from Malaysia. His mother was there from Malaysia. He had his 3 children, who I'm assuming were born in, I guess kind of assume they were born in Boston. I actually don't know. And then his wife Michael is from Maine. And
they met in Michigan, in Ann Arbor, at the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
So that was kind of.
And there were 2 black ladies that came, that were African American ladies that came, they were visiting, so they weren't actually members of the church. And there was another white gentleman that came. So like, of the 10 people there, it was very diverse. Very diverse. It was, and then you had us from Lexington, Kentucky. So
we stayed after and had a meal from Malaysia that was cooked by Poe's mom.
Yeah, authentic Malaysian food.
Authentic.
Amazing.
It was really good. The noodles and the cabbage. We talked with them. Poe's dad was actually saved while he was in England studying, and he was saved trying to debate the Christians, trying to prove them wrong, and through that the Lord saved him, and he grew in his faith and ended up in prison for 325 days in Malaysia. Even had Margaret Thatcher kind of asked why he was in prison, but I guess that didn't help, because then it made them think that he was a British spy. But so Poe's mom had three children at the time. Poe was only 2. His oldest brother said he remembers vividly kind of the time that their dad was in prison. Their mom was taking care of 3. They would later have another child. They have 4 sons, and all 4 are believers. But just and his dad wrote several books, and just really a testament of faith, and for his dad and his mother. And Poe works as a scientist with stem cell research and genetics and things like that in Boston, but then they were burdened kind of during COVID. They were having people over at their house, and they were just kind of burdened to start a fellowship there. But we really loved talking with them. We wish we would have had more time to hang out with them. They invited us over for dinner, and even to come stay with them the next time we come to Boston. Just a really sweet, really faithful couple.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it was a different. We haven't worshipped in a church setting with so few believers since probably, we went on our honeymoon in the Dominican, and there might have even been more
There was more
at the
people
church
there,
in the Dominican.
absolutely.
Yeah, so they did say that they had a couple out with sicknesses and things like that. So, but they said their average attendance is about 10 to 12. So, be praying for them, just that their work in pretty dark city. I mean, Boston is. You've got Harvard, you've got Boston College, you've got MIT, you've got all these pretty prestigious colleges that are pretty dark. I mean, the ideologies that are kind of sweeping across our culture originate in some of these places, and so it's hard to do evangelistic work there. So be praying for them if you're hearing this and think about Greater Boston Reformed Baptist Fellowship and Poe and his wife Michael. Just be praying for their work there. And it was also tough because what I had planned for the evening is what kept us from hanging out with him. But we had before that we had another game at Fenway, but before that we went to Boston Common and rode our bikes.
Caught a turtle.
Yeah, rode our bikes around there, caught a turtle, sat by the little pond, whatever there. It's just a beautiful
with the willow
place.
trees.
Yeah, with the willow trees in the background. It's just a beautiful place in the city. I mean, it's a big park. It's the common area, so everybody from anywhere can be there, and it's just it was really busy yesterday. It wasn't like that when we came in May last year, but just a really good time. It's really pretty, an opportunity to just rest a little bit, sit in the grass, and sit by the little pond. Albert caught a turtle. And
It was not fast to get away. I just reached down and grabbed him in the pond.
it was fast when you finally put him down.
When I put him down, he was out of there. He hightailed it out of there.
So, just a good time in Boston Common, and then we went, had lunch or dinner at the truck, and then hightailed it over to Fenway for Yankees, Red Sox, part 2 for us, part 3 of the series. It was the stadium atmosphere was good Sunday. Pre-game with the national anthem. A few sisters out of
Dempsey
sisters out of Maine, I think, they killed it, man. Like, they did the national anthem so good. And then there was intro videos and all kinds of stuff. It just felt like a good night. And then Yankees came out, put 3 runs on the board. It started raining a little bit. The rain basically continued on and off throughout the whole game. We never got super wet, but it was kind of just like a nuisance. And then Red Sox basically had 2 home runs, and that was it. And a bunch of errors. They played terrible. We lost, and now we're sitting at a game. Well, the good news is the Royals lost too. We're just kind of hanging tight to 1 game out of the wild card race. So, so that ended our time in Boston. Kind of tough to end it on a loss at Fenway, but hey, there's just no place like when I get down there to the area around Fenway, to the Jersey Street, and just all the fans, and just it's the oldest stadium in this country. The history there, the history of the city of Boston, all that together just makes it one of my favorite places in all the world. And I know it's all kind of revolves around a silly, awesome game of baseball, but it's just a good time being in that city. And now we got back again about 11:30 last night. Aubrey, I think, fell asleep in the car ride, and I think it took her about 1.5 seconds to fall asleep in the camper. And then we woke up this morning in the middle of the night it rained. We woke up this morning to rain. It's basically been raining the entire time, as you can probably hear in the background. So Maine never. It rained at nighttime, but it kind of stayed overcast until the last day, and it was sunny, but it never really rained. Boston was really sunny until last night at game time, and it's kind of been raining ever since then. So, but we're on our way to New York City. Really excited about the next 5 or 6 days. How many we got left? 7 days. Wow.